Thank you very much. There's a lot of you here. I'm going to read a 7-part poem, and I'll try to read it very, very fast so that it can fit inside these 5 minutes. It's called Come See the Blood in the Streets. It's from Pablo Neruda poem that I will not try to pronounce. One. When I'm alone at home for a few hours, a Friday afternoon, I have an early lunch. Gorging down, barely chewing, I would never do that in front of others, resulting in this. And it gets me thinking about Margaret Thatcher and her saying that there is no such thing as society. What loneliness she must have felt. Just me, alone in the world. Nobody sees me. It gets me thinking about the Kurdish freedom fighters, but that is another kind of loneliness. Aishin wrote in his poem Hiroshima that the city, after its annihilation, should be an advocate of peace. It gets me thinking that perhaps it is so that only the satiated can speak of hunger or loneliness, and only the dead can speak of life. Smoking cough. 2. History is a void, an incomplete depiction of a family that only recognizes the dead. Bai Dao says. And at the same time, the Chinese government guns down its citizens during protests. It gets me thinking about the mobility of the horizon. The day breaks at a fast pace. It is the hour before. There is a golpe de estado in Bolivia. Everywhere, or at the same time. But the headsmen do not live among the blood. It gets me thinking about Göran Sonnevi, like the expansion of a fractal, not diverging, not while the people there keep dying. It hasn't always been this way. It has always been this way. The poem, flat, a horizon. I cannot serve. Just conversation is violence enough. But the sun sets there when the sun rises here. This poem must end in tragedy. 3. This silence is a privilege. It is night now. Way into the last decade I wore layers upon layers, shifted focus from one to many, from chamber to square. There is a square in every town. The half shell of a walnut has gathered rain. Next to my jam jar of cigarette ends, I can see only one square. This poem works with a material, with documents, archives, with literature itself, to find a knowledge outside of itself. It becomes an obvious movement, like openly detesting the regime in the Republic of Iran is associated with risk. I saved this walnut shell, listening to the state-sponsored Swedish radio reporting from Tehran, from the outbursts of the coronavirus. It gets me thinking about a poetry, a fargen, the frailty of skin, a rose, a crow, a woman sitting, an image from within, not an image without. Asita Garman says that first the locusts, then the noble red kidneywort. Spring will come to a small part of this world. This poem must be a weapon. This poem must this nothing. Four. During a statement at Stockholm Literature in 2015, the 2018 Nobel Prize laureate in literature, Olga Tokarczuk, says that the 1980 Nobel Prize laureate, Czesław Miłosz, once said that a single line of poetry outweighs any grand passage of idle prose. It gets me thinking about the crow again, that fractures the murmur of smaller birds, like a fist in the eye. The poem is just this, reading direction. You have to keep writing even when no one's interested. Agatha Christoph said that. Maybe this conversation of solitude is the only thing that can keep the loneliness away. It can't be like this for everyone, as it is for me. The walnut can be a hole on a wide field in motion, like in the translation that Jessie Mohabbat did of a poem from Asma Asaisa, like a whole dream. But first, life must become better for everybody, for everything. But Ella Tillema says, you can't see the forest for the fires. It gets me thinking about a child, a candid gaze beneath a clear sky, in front of a lit fire, behind grief, something that I share with everyone else. A variation the size of a fist. She says, we are this system. I say, I'm on fire. 5. The ashes are there. It's like the states will do just about anything without suffering any consequences. Like sending asylum seekers back to their deaths, one by one, until they're all dead. All of them. It's like Thomas Anhava meant that the work of a writer in itself was a statement, that it was a statement in society. Who translated that? I don't know any Finnish. And Audre Lorde said that poetry always was the literature of the poor, that it can be done between shifts, in the hospital pantry, on the subway, on the scraps of surplus paper. But in Colombia, leaders of social and humanitarian movements are executed. Everywhere, power against people. Power against the prerequisites of humanity. Land gets mutilated, and animals and people. How do I give voice to the dead? Can I give voice to the dead? It gets me thinking about Åke Axelsson in the poem Oseboll by Marit Kaplan. He says that it's a good thing to sunder and work your way up again, because it changes you. I keep thinking that everything has to change from foundation to structure. Even humans and the images of humans. Hélène Cixous says in an interview that everything, every power lies in language. It gets me thinking about how creation is ongoing, but that nothing ends. Everything just transforms. You say, you have written a poem. Read it to me. And I read it to you.